Okay, now we got it up near the garage. We're going to open up the trunk and see what's in this thing, and then we'll have a little look under the hood, see what we got for power, and go from there. I love this body style, even though it's got that humongous trunk. I think that's cool, and it is a coupe. And yeah, it's been sitting a while, no doubt. It's got a bit of loose body work here, but I'm thinking that was maybe just because somebody was going to do an engine swap, maybe, because some of this front sheet metal is loose, and that's probably why. But yeah, it's a pretty cool old car. Like I say, it's been sitting. It's got some rust along the bottom here. That doesn't worry me too much. And got a big old dent here from what I was told by the previous owner, which he was trying to look after this and had a car shelter over it. And of course, a windstorm took that and put a hefty dent in the roof, but I'm not too worried about that either. It's pretty much all there. He did give me some extra parts, and he still has some parts that he's got in storage that he's going to get to me. And yeah, this is a pretty cool old car. And here's what you can see is, I guess, the factory original join, where they join these two pieces. And I guess the lead came out of it, or somebody took it out. And there's some bit of, looks like Bondo, I don't know. Gonna need some glass, that's for sure. The back glass I do have, it came with the car, and it's in great shape. But it's gonna need to be put back in and some new rubber. That's just totally roasted. All right, let's open this massive trunk and see what's in there. Could use a little oil, but there's a lot of stuff in here. First thing I see is, what I'm hoping is the fuel tank, because yeah, it actually looks good on the outside, but hopefully it's as good on the inside. Some dirt daubers. Throw them in the garden. Oh. Steering component, maybe? Probably not even necessary. This looks like a sway bar. Broken sway bar. Did they have sway bars back in 1941? Maybe on a Chrysler. That's a gas tank strap. Hopefully there's two of those. That looks like for something under the hood, because it's got some oil on it. A couple of shock absorbers. Don't know if they belong to this vehicle. Better hang on to them. Another gas tank strap. Okay, front windshield, garnish molding. It's going to need to be repaired, but I mean, it's there. Window visors, which is good. At least the hardware is there. So, and the templates, so that's great. Okay. I'm guessing there might be some wiring issues. I don't know what that's for, but I'm glad I have it. Whatever it is, that is for the gas cap. However that goes. Something like that. That's awesome. And looks like a drive shaft. Oh, not seized, missing the cups. I hope that this is for this vehicle. I've got a feeling it is. Oh, it's got the slip joint on there. I hope this is the one. Anyways, let's set that aside. Well-used accessory belt and some rabbit fur, piece of plywood, another piece of wood. Actually, that's not a piece, that's the back of a stereo or something. I think that's it for the parts. Let me bring you in close here and you can see what I'm dealing with here. And yeah, it's a huge trunk. We've got a few pine cones here, and that's why I want to get this all cleaned out and get all the junk out. There's a bunch of rabbit fur, raccoon, who knows. Wait a minute. bag of bolts. Hang on to that. All right, let's get this cleaned out and then we'll move on to the interior of the vehicle. Let's get in there. Free funnel, that's always good. Wasp spray? That's not a good sign. Oil filler. This car just keeps on giving. Pine cones for lunch. More wiring. Hold on. That looks like car parts to me right there. That's got to be some kind of interior light, maybe for the glove box. Oh, that hurt. That looks like the remains of the glove box, perhaps. It's toast. Just being careful not to throw on anything out that's really useful. You just never know what you find in here. Like that. Which I don't know what that is, but I better hang on to it. That's a hairball. Great. Oh, geez. There's a hairball. A big one. Oh, nice. Don't know what that was, but it's dead. Now time for the vacuum. Let her rip. All good. I'll take you in for a closer look. As you can see, it is quite large. It doesn't look that bad now that's all cleaned out. There's a few little spots of rust, but I do notice that there's black paint, but there is no primer. So maybe back then they didn't have primer. Bare metal under the paint. And this section here has been replaced with galvanized sheet metal, which is something I've done many times in the past. It's got some rivets and it's also got some brazing, but it's actually pretty solid. So I don't know, maybe we'll just leave that. It's not a bad repair really. That's the trunk cleaned out. Now let's have a look at the interior and see what's going on in there. Well, there's your typical car seat slash milk crate. Wow, looks like this thing is supposed to do 110 miles per hour. Okay, well that's going to be kind of dicey without a windshield. As you can see, it's had some work over the years. This is actually wood, which I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I don't mind wood. I used to be a carpenter, so that's cool. A bit of stuff missing here, but I think the previous owner said he has some in storage somewhere, so he's going to grab that for me eventually. And what looks to be a carburetor. Yep. And the air filter. Oh wow, I like that. Well, the carburetor is made by Ball and Ball carburetors, manufactured for Chrysler Corporation, Detroit, Michigan, USA. I love that air filter. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so there's our master cylinder down there. Anyways, what else we got? There's another door sill and what looks to be a rear view mirror. Okay, that's great. Still has the hoops for the headliner, so I'm happy about that. And there's actually a couple of oil change stickers. Let's see if I can find a date on those. Actually, I can't make out any dates, but I do see a mileage. Looks like 49,800 and something miles. Looks like around 64,000 miles. So we are definitely overdue for an oil change. But yeah, okay, we're just gonna pull all this out and I think store it in the 64 panel truck, because I already have a few parts in here which I picked up separate, and which are the door cards, which are good for templates. It's one running board, the front bumper, which might have been re-chromed, still has the paper on it, so I don't know. The exhaust intake manifold, and the back bumper, which weighs about 300 pounds. Yeah, so anyways, we'll see if we can get all that stainless in here, and that'll at least it'll be in a safe place. The missing link, the windshield divider. I thought that was missing, but I've just found it in the car. That's great. That makes me happy. That's exactly what it is. Let me take you in for the shot. Oh, that's great. I thought I was gonna have a problem, but luckily it was in the car. This is definitely from the car. This is not. That's got to be from a golf cart, I'm assuming, or something like that. Bamboo, that's optional. All right, let me take you in there for a closer look. All right, so as you can see, there's only room for one seat here. It's got this little flap here. On the other side, there's an actual hatch that you can pull down to get to your business goods, let's say. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. So basically a two-seater. Yeah. I'm not sure about this flap here. I don't know if that's factory or not, but I like this setup. And of course it's a it's not really a standard, it's not really an automatic. It's a fluid drive. And this is the high and low. So it's quite an interesting setup for the year. And okay, there's another rat's nest of some sorts. We'll get to that shortly. Oh, looky here, there's the key. Awesome. So yeah, everything's out of here now. Now I'm just gonna clean up all this debris, and then we'll move on to the engine bay. A long time ago. I couldn't figure out what this flap was for, this opening here, until I started looking at it, and I see that it's kind of dished out at the bottom there, and that's obviously for the spare tire. They don't keep it in the trunk. Let me just grab the old spare, and it just sits right in there behind the seat. Then it's got this panel, fits over there, something like that. I don't know if that's factory or not, and then this flap just covers it up. I like that feature. That's fantastic. Spare behind the seat. I love it. All right, let's keep going. Since this floor panel is already loose, let's just pull it out and see what we got down there. Wow. All right. What do we have here? Okay. Let me get you in close for this one. You're gonna like this. So this is Chrysler's fluid drive transmission. It has a high and a low, and looks like a 3-speed. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's got gears, some sort. It looks like a standard, but right there in the bell housing is a fluid drive. I'm not exactly sure how that all works, but apparently it was quite the thing back in the day, and they made it for quite a few years. So we're gonna have to investigate that a little more, because that's just strange. But I like it. This thing must weigh a ton. Just the engine and transmission alone must be, I don't know, 800 pounds? Wow. Anyways, get a good look at the frame here. All looks pretty good. All right, we got the interior cleaned out. Now let's have a look under the hood and see what we got there. Well, it's definitely a flat 6. I don't know what size that would be, but maybe 220 something, 230 cubic inches. It looks to be mostly there. The dipstick, which I found in the trunk. Let me grab that. It's never a good sign when you find a dipstick in the trunk, but let's see what's going on here. Not very hopeful at this point. Oh, goodness. Well, that's, I'm going to call that watery, dirty oil. Oh, that's not good. Let's just stick that back in there and forget about that. But for the rest, this looks pretty solid underneath here. Still got the radiator. That looks really heavy duty, actually. It's like a kind of an acorn style. Something weird. Battery tray is still there. Most of the wiring. Regulator. Look at that coil. Just stabbed right on the dash. Or on the firewall, I should say. Heater core. And the heater hose is there. But overall, this looks pretty good. The sheet metal under here. The firewall looks good. She's a little loose in the gills here, but I have a feeling this has been off for some reason, to change a motor or something. And yeah, I don't know about this motor. I was told that it blew a rod, so I doubt that I'm going to be able to find a motor to fit in here, or at least not a stock motor. So there's a good chance that this is going to get, who knows, maybe a 230 Chevy 6 or a small block Chevy. I don't know. The only question will be the steering box, whether or not that's, maybe the straight 6 is the answer in here, just to get around the steering box. So yeah, looks good though. I like it. Let's open the other hatch. It's got the dual flipping lids here. Ooh, really gives you nice access to work on it, that's for sure. And the frame, actually, look at the frame. The previous owner had that sandblasted and painted. I believe he painted it himself. Did a really nice job. So I'm really happy about the frame, because the rest is not a problem. It can be fixed. As far as the motor goes, yeah, I think it's probably seized up. Spark plugs look like they've been rusted right in. So I'm guessing it's never gonna turn over even the slightest bit. So yeah, let's just throw in the towel on this right now. Did you really think I wasn't gonna try? Come on, let's get those spark plugs out, jam some oil in there, throw a battery in, and see if we can get this thing to crank. We gotta try.